So today we're going to look at our mobility set. We're going to start with hips and ankles. So the first thing, if people are struggling to get into a squat position, this is a warm-up to be able to understand how you get your hips to your heels. So with the feet lined up with the knees lined up with the hips, I'm just going to raise my hips off the floor and then bring my hips towards my heels. So rock back and forward, and you can get that rocking through the heels as well. So from here, rock, push forward. Now if that's easy, then I can start moving up closer. So I'm going to get that same rocking, get the hips to the heels, and then progress it, coming up onto my fingertips, and then moving forward from here, getting the shoulders back. Now I want to start understanding about that position of keeping the back straight while I'm coming through here. Moving through that, coming up now. So I can get my hands down first of all from here and just get used to then bringing the hips towards the heels. So now I'm not focused on the back, I just want to get the hips towards the heels and get those hips warmed up. So lower the hips down towards the heels. Then, if I can, sit back from here, and then from there again, take the hips away, bring the hips towards the heels, and reach forward. From there, to work the ankles now. So once I'm in this position, if you can keep your balance and you can stay in your heels when you're using the other foot, you can just then start walking the heels. If you're struggling with that, you can put your hands on the floor and just walk the heels up and down. So I'm walking the heels up and down, moving the hips and the pelvis from side to side, coming up onto the toes, coming back down onto the heels. The next one, stretch out the front of the ankles. The feet are flat onto the floor. Sit back on your heels. For some of you, this is going to be enough. You're already going to feel some discomfort through there. So if that's as far as you can go, that's as far as you can go. If you've got more flexibility in your ankles, you can start then coming down lower and getting more stretch from there. But then from there, you tuck your toes underneath, and from there, come back into your squat. So you go forward onto your knees, feet flat, sit on the heels, find your point where you can stretch out the front, tuck the toes underneath, come back into your squat. So forward, sit on the heels, flex back, tuck the toes underneath, come back into your squat. Now, the next one is just to open up the hip, but also to roll on the ankle. So you're going to get this rolling on the ankle, so the ankle is going to be rolled this way, as well as you're opening up this hip. Same thing. If you're struggling in this position, you can use the other hand as a prop and then move it out from side to side. So you're opening up that hip and rolling around on that ankle. So if I can keep my balance, then from here, you can see that I'm just opening up the hip, but also rolling on the inside and the outside edge. So all those creaks, they're mine. So, those ankles opening up the hips. Now we want to get that squat shift. So where we shift our pelvis down and loading into the other leg. So we're going to go wider for this. Again, keep the hands inside as a prop, keep your chest up. And here the focus is then shifting the pelvis down and underneath. So I want to get that squat shift from side to side. I want to avoid the knees going in, so I can use my elbows as a reference and know that I'm keeping my knees in line with my toes, but shifting through the pelvis from side to side. Again, don't force it. If that's too low for you, come up a little bit higher. But get that feeling, that sense of shifting through the hips and the pelvis to load into the leg. From there, you're going to take your feet wider. So come down, you can use your hands from here. You're thinking about lowering the hip towards the heel. So you're bringing the hip towards the heel. Keep that foot planted. If you're too tight and you're coming up onto your toes, just come up higher and get that stretch on the inside. So you can shift across the other side. Use your hands to just keep that posture and keep that chest up. And then, if you've got more flexibility, you can sit into that, get that hip close to the heels, reach forward, and then come up and into the other leg. Or, again, if you feel that that's too easy, shift underneath and switch. So get that switch underneath and shift. Then to get the hamstrings more, you're going to rotate that foot. So toe up, heel down on this side. Use your hands if you need to keep your balance. Shift, go to the other leg, toe up, heel down. Okay, find the area that you're comfortable with. If this is too tough, just come up higher. Or, if that's again too tough, you can hold onto a rail to give yourself support, and that will also help you keep your chest up when you're holding these positions. Those are the exercises for the ankles and for the hips.